Okay, are we streaming? Yes, we are. Alright. Better make sure the live dashboard is on. It says it's live, so we are live, ladies and gents. Alright. Oops, not there. Need to put this down. There we go. So hey guys, today we're gonna be doing some more editing. This is for a future video, and it's also kind of a test on certain, I got a new setup, so I needed to test it last night, and from what I heard, this sound is amazing. It's much better than what I had before, I'll tell you that. I actually better make sure that my microphone is hearable. I better do that. Test. Better double check. Let's see, unmute this. I better do that. Okay, it's very mild. Alright, so I'm glad I actually checked that. Alright, so let's turn that up all the way. Just like that. Now it should be much better in quality. So now let's go check, make sure everything's good. Just like that. Now it should be much better in quality. Much better. So now let's go check. Okay, stop. Alright, so get this out of here. Just gotta get right out of here. There we go. Hello, Commonroni. Hello, Nomad. So today we're going to be doing some interesting editing. So what I'm going to do first is I recorded this last night using the new setup, which is pretty ridiculous when I try to explain it. It's like one of those folding tables that you usually use up camping. It's that flipped upside down with a blanket. It's like creating your own little sound box. It's free and it's actually pretty simple. So this is the new quality with some minor, what is it called, post editing. So just ask me questions and keep me company while I do the hard work. The Legacy Will Endure, written by Merlight. Okay. Twilight Sparkle awoke at the buzzing of her morning alarm. Groggily, she blinked up at the ceiling. She had not slept well at all. Probing about her night table, she found her smartphone. Okay, so everything's fine as far as narration goes. But there was a voice that I wanted to play with, because I did all the voices again. And keep in mind, this is an Equestria Girls one, so yeah. There was characters in here I didn't even know, or was sure that I didn't even know. It's basically the Shadow Bolts from Friendship Games. Hey Ben. What's up? I'm editing. How are you? An insect bite? Spike never had fleas. I had no Perhaps she needed to spend some time deep cleaning her room. She gave the mark no further thought as she rose from her bed. Right about now, her dog Spike would have been greeting her. Following the Friendship Games and the increased attention she got, it became much more difficult to conceal his... Okay, so that sounds all fine and dandy. I think I know where it is. So, oh God, who was the first one? Lemon Zest, that's her name. Okay, better make sure. Now, however, all of them have... Okay, that's fine. Doing a dramatic reading, editing, doing okay, just possibly getting ready for work. Sounds fun. Alright. So, oh, is that it? One by one, she checked each of her homework. Nope. That's not it. There it is. Found it. Okay, watch your ears. Morning, Twilight. Okay, Lemon Zest has a, she's raspy, but she's also high. So, I'm thinking I might up it a little bit. I don't know. It's hard to do voices for characters you're not really sure about. So, yeah. Let's play around with it for a minute.
Morning, Twilight.
Like, Lemon Zest was hard for me because I really didn't know how to portray her character. I'm deciding whether or not I am happy with this voice.
Morning, Twilight. Twilight glanced up from...
Why did I leave that in there? Yeah, I can get rid of that. So just screw you and go away.
Morning, Twilight. Twilight glanced up from her notebooks to find her classmate and fellow Friendship Games finalist, the ever-bubbly Lemon Zest. Only now did she notice...
Keep in mind, I was editing this last night at around probably 11, midnight-ish. So yeah, I wasn't at full capacity.
Friendship Games finalist, the ever-bubbly Lemon Zest.
Much better. Alright, so save that. Okay, let's see what we can do here. And if you're wondering why it's so loud and these don't actually look that loud, it's because this little knob right here, it's up.
Only now did she notice the rock music leaking from Lemon's constantly blaring headphones. Normally, she could hear it coming from 10 meters away.
That's what she said. By the way, if you guys can hear like little, what sounds like, how do I put this? Like squeaks or something like that coming out of, like coming within the audio. That is my mouth making noise. That's not anything I can control. That's the noises my mouth likes to make for some stupid reason. That is also what she said.
Oh, good morning, Lemon Zest. Hey, congratulations.
Okay.
Twilight cocked her head.
Yikes.
On what? I heard your transfer to the...
Okay, I can get rid of those. Editing is never fun.
What? I heard your transfer to the Everton Independent Study Program was approved. Now Lemon returned her puzzled look.
Puzzled?
Wasn't that why you were called to Principal Cinch's office yesterday?
Oh, gosh. That one doesn't sound like her, but I think I'll be okay. I don't know, really. Yes, it is sad what happened to Notre Dame or Notre Dame, whatever you want to call it. I've heard it's called Notre Dame. I've heard it's called Notre Dame.
Wasn't that why you were called to Principal Cinch's office yesterday?
And if you don't know and you're just joining in, this is an Equestria-based one. So, Equestria Girls-based one. So, if you aren't a fan of Equestria Girls, well, then you're out of luck. Because this one was really good to me. It's more a dark fic than a grimdark, but it's still good.
His office yesterday? Twilight felt a shiver go down her spine. In all the time that she had been at Crystal Prep, she had never liked going to Principal Cinch's office, even when it was to receive good news.
Okay. What is going on over here? Guy who plays a bad guy. Oh, okay. Alright. Principal bitch. Yeah. Someone called her that. Wait a minute. That was what Johnny Fireflame called her. I think that is his name. Yeah, Johnny Fireflame.
Even when it was to receive good news. The very thought of that...
What was I doing? I honestly don't know. What was I doing? Oh yeah, saving. Okay.
Receive good news. The very thought of that place always literally gave her the chills.
Hopefully the quality sounds a lot better, guys. I mean, I think it sounds way better. I mean, I got a new setup. It's like a do-it-yourself one, but it's really good. Like, it's not as echoey as it is now, because the reason why it's echoing now is because I don't have it in that setup. And it's a good thing I don't, because the thing is, when I record into it, the laptop is not in front of me, it's not to the side of me, it is, well, it's to the side of me, but not where I'm looking at the camera, like it's clear over here. So, yeah, I can't have that set up. Zach Zach Keys is still roaming around free. I don't know who that is. Oh, hang on. Is that who I think it is? Mr. Toon?
Lemon's confusion now turned to concern. You okay? I'm fine.
Ree.
I'm fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's talk positive here, not negative, please. We don't want to have any controversial shit coming up.
Okay? I'm fine. Just a little under the weather. Well, I hope you feel better. I'm gonna go grab some breakfast. See you around.
You're okay. You're fine.
With that, Lemon sauntered off. Have a good one.
I honestly didn't know if that was Lemon Zest or if that was Twilight. I think it was Twilight. Because some of the grammar in this was a little weird, but it was acceptable.
Have a good one. As she ate...
Why did I leave that in? I can hear a nose. I can hear lips smacking. That sounds wrong, but whatever. Egghead? Yeah, I'm an egghead. I'll admit it. I'm a grammar Nazi.
Have a good one. As she ate her breakfast, Twilight found herself pondering the previous day.
Okay, stop. I am curious to ask... I'm actually curious because this is going to either be... Are you surprised that Grogar is back? No, he was kind of hinted. People said, like, long before Season 9 even started, he was rumored to be coming back, which I find it really cool that he's back. I mean, he was one of the best freaking villains of G1, if not the best. He's a necromancer, for Pete's sake. I also like that they have him... I mean, in the opener, they said that he wasn't, like, killed or destroyed in G1. I like that they linked G1 to G4. So after all this time, he has been gathering enough strength and enough, you know, power to take down what destroyed him in the first place. Does that mean the girl is going to be coming back? That would be awesome. That would be amazing. And I know a lot of G1 fanatics would be all about that shit. Do you think Chrysalis will be reformed? I hope not. I hope she goes out like Zira style from The Lion King 2. How about Sombra? I did not care for the Sombra. Well, I liked that he came back, but I did not care for his voice. Flutterguy voiced him. The original voice actor decided not to reprise the role because he didn't want to, which... that's understandable because you don't want to force someone into a role that they're not comfortable in. That's kind of the reason why Big Apple Pie stopped voice acting Discord in Bride of Discord by the time at the end of episode 9 of Bride of Discord. That's why he stopped voicing for Discord and the Wilsonator took over. He didn't enjoy the role because he doesn't enjoy the character. So I feel his pain. Imagine Scorpion returning. He may. We never know.
As she ate her breakfast, Twilight found herself pondering the previous day. It was much like any other school day. Nothing unusual.
Fucking Okay.
It was much like any other school day. Nothing unusual stood out in her mind. However, it was much like any other school day. Nothing.
Is it really going to be in between every fucking pause? Like, the reason I need this so clean is because I'm not really sure how I'm going to be doing this yet. But in G1, wasn't he a human being under Tyrek's control? I don't know, honestly. I don't know much about G1. All I know about G1 is that it was dark as shit, and that Tyrek was like an antagonist. Grogar was like the big bad dude.
Nothing unusual stood out in her mind. However, the time between the end of her classes up until her waking up this morning was a complete blur. If what Lemon just told her was true, she would have definitely remembered going to Principal Cinch's office. It was disconcerting, to say the least. The first period bell snapped her back to reality.
Oh, there goes
Hastily, she finished up the last of her oatmeal, downed the rest of her tea,
Hold up, hold up.
of her oatmeal, down.
Yep, there's some noise in between there. I mean, I understand mouth noises is nothing you can really control, but yeah, I don't like it. So, also that episode from G1 was dark because Tyrek said a head will roll because he literally was going to decapitate Spike. Yeah. That was, oh shit, Rescue at Midnight Castle, or Nightmare Castle, something like that. If my friend Thomas was here, he'd be able to confirm. But I'm not really sure how I want to edit this. I mean, guys, I love doing dramatic style, but I'm trying to do different stuff. I want to include music in this one, but I'm not sure if you guys would be happy with that. I mean, I want to do it, but I'm not sure if you guys would be happy with that. I mean, I don't know. I'm just always paranoid to try something new because of the fact that it's just past experiences that do this to me. It's my paranoia, it's my fear, it's my anxiety. I think I'm just going to go with this new style and see how people think of it, because I've done it before. But, I don't know, we'll see.
Hastily,
But first I got to get over this, first I got to listen over this. So, yeah, just keep me company, guys.
Hastily, she finished up the last of her oatmeal, downed the rest of her tea, and made it to her advanced placement English class just in time. Normally,
because if you didn't hear me before, I recorded this around probably 10 o'clock last night, didn't finish until like 40 minutes later, so yeah, I was editing this stuff around probably 11 to midnight-ish. I remember I didn't go to bed until like 2 o'clock. WWT is the what? WWT? What's WWT? Oh, wait. What is the worst My Little Pony creepypasta aside from Sweet Apple Massacre? Is that what you're saying?
class just in time. Normally an attentive student, she found it very difficult to focus on her
I think that needs to be a little closer. Once you take out all that noise, it just... yeah. So what is the worst MLP creepypasta aside from Sweet Apple Massacre? There's one that I've heard that matches Sweet Apple Massacre in terms of fucked upness. And that was... oh god. Trixie's Funhouse or something like that. Something like that. I personally have never read it, nor have I even seen a posting of it. That's probably why. So, yeah, that's probably why I've never heard of it or seen it. I'm sure if I looked it up, I'd be able to find it. But Trixie's Funhouse or something like that is what it's called.
English class just in time. Normally an attentive student, she found it very difficult to focus on...
She shrouded it?
She found it very difficult.
Do I have to slow that down? I don't think I can.
She found it...
I can't slow that down. I can, but it would sound very weird. Oh, geez. Hello, Selena, LPS channel, and more. Did you like the cask of Apple Tolado? I have not heard of it. Or, well, I've heard of it, but I haven't listened to it. Maybe I'll give it a reaction.
She found it very difficult to focus on her teacher's lecture. Throughout the entire morning...
Then I said a line, and there was some noise in it, so I just had to delete it because I wasn't going to set things back up.
On her teacher's lecture. Throughout the entire morning, she simply could not stop wondering about the gap in her memory.
So what do you guys think of the quality? I mean, if you're wearing headphones, you can tell how good the quality is. I personally think it sounds fantastic. Like, that is almost, that's like an XLR microphone quality right there.
In her memory.
When there's no echo coming off of it, and it's just completely nice, it is beautiful.
in her memory.
What is your favorite MLP
With fourth period
fanfiction?
came her least favorite class.
Good question. My favorite. One I would go back to and listen to again. It'd probably be a Grimdark. It'd probably kill me. But, I'm not sure. There are so many good fanfictions out there.
With fourth period came her least favorite class, physical education. Today, Coach Rommel had them running continuous laps around the soccer pitch. As usual, Twilight brought up the rear. Much to her surprise, however, her classmate Indigo Zap was not too far ahead of her. As Crystal Prep Academy's star athlete, Indigo normally would have overtaken Twilight several times on a jog. Today, however, she liked to be...
Hang on. There's some noise in there. Let's get rid of it. Yep, there's some noise in there. Who do I ship Acelis with? Nobody. Because they're kids. And I don't want to take any chances. If you guys watch Mark Hyder, my reactions with Mark Hyder, when I say ship to anything, it's a joke, guys. Unless it's Twidash, then it's serious. But if I ship, like, oh, let's say, Yona with Gallus. Did I say his name right? Yes, I did. If I ship those two, it's a joke. Don't take it seriously.
Times on a jog. Today, however, she lagged behind nearly half of their classmates. "Come on, Zap!" barked the coach. "You helped us win the friendship games, but that doesn't mean you get to slack off."
I honestly don't know if that character is an actual character with dialogue. I don't really keep up with Equestria Girls that much. So, yeah, I could be making a mistake right there, but I'm voicing over the character, so yeah. Creepypasta, a Sparrow of Luck. Really? It's a name I made up. Interesting. Want to see if Applejack's parents are still... I want to see if Applejack's parents are still alive. They aren't. Guys, when Apple Bloom says something to remember them by, that means they're dead. That's the best way that Hasbro can say the parents are dead without saying it directly and getting in trouble. So, yeah. Just like with Flower and Bonbon. In A Slice of Life, they were depicting lesbianism. They were. They were depicting that they are indeed a couple. They love each other. But they couldn't say it, so they made little hints that they do care for each other as more than just friends. I mean, come on. First freaking scene with them, they smack their butts together. Come on. That's a dead giveaway.
To slack off. Indigo cursed under her breath as she quickened her pace. Twilight overheard some of her classmates whispering to each other once Indigo was out of earshot. "Probably been partying with Lemon Zest. Sure that's not all they're doing. Heard she was sent to Cinch's office the other day."
I literally came up with those voices right off the top of my head.
After their run,
and seeing the Crystal Prep students are depicted as the nobilities of the show. Yeah. Well, not the nobilities of the show, but the nobilities of, Equestria Girls. Yeah. What fanfiction is this? I don't want to give away the name, so you'll just have to wait and see.
After their run, the students returned to the locker rooms to change back into their academy uniforms. Twilight had just opened her locker when she was startled by...
Okay, that needs to be quiet. Shut up. Thank you.
Forms. Twilight had just opened her locker when she was startled by a sudden clang. She glanced over her shoulder to find Indigo fuming nearby. The blue-haired jock quickly...
Yep, hang on. There's some noise in there. Let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of it, cause we don't like it. As well, how about when Fluttershy said peeved? I heard that stirred up some parents. Well, peeved is basically another way of saying pissed, which pissed technically isn't a bad word. Trust me, when I'm watching Nickelodeon and I see Dragon Ball Z Kai spit out that word, basically Android 18's getting her ass kicked, like future Android 18, the evil one. She's getting beat up by Trunks, and basically she says, "You jerk, now I'm pissed." She says it plain as day. When that's on a Cartoon Network that basically, yeah, kids watch, I don't think pissed is a bad word anymore. But when Fluttershy said peeved, it didn't startle me. But I know some parents take the smallest amount of offense, take the smallest thing as offense, like derpy talking. Derpy talking like she's that word, like she's mentally wrong, or she has a problem. Parents shouldn't look at that as a bad thing. They should look at it as a positive thing. Okay. And if I was Fluttershy, I would be peeved as well. Because her parents are basically getting abused by her brother, who doesn't know how to do things for himself.
She glanced over her shoulder to find Indigo fuming nearby. The blue-haired jock quickly noticed that she was staring at her. What?
What?
Twilight was taken aback.
What? What do you want?
Twilight was taken aback, but...
Okay, there's a little problem right there. Ouch. Okay, I better make sure that's not too much of a pause. It doesn't look like it.
What? Twilight was taken aback, but managed to find her tongue. Are you okay, Indigo? Indigo glared at her for a moment before softening her gaze. Yeah, I'm fine. She sighed, rubbing her forehead. Just...
Mouth, why do you make so much noise? How an animation error became a fan favorite? Oh, you're talking derpy. It wasn't an animation error, it was a rendering error. They were basically rendering her character, and her eyes came out derped. So, yeah, that happened. Sorry, I did not hear you. I left. I am not going to say the name of the fanfiction because I don't want to give it away. It'll be out in the future. But just so I can clear this up, guys, this month, there will be a new series starting on the channel. It's called Sparrow Reads, and it's like this, where I'm just reading the story to you. No, well, there's going to be music at towards the beginning and towards the end, but only for a short period. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. The story is actually really good. I'm loving it so far. Updates will come whenever the author gets around to posting the chapters. So far, I'm up to chapter 9. I have 2 parts out. I'm working on part 3. When you said what you sounded like, the slug from Monster Incorporated, no offense, Roz.
Well, isn't that nice?
She sighed, rubbing her forehead.
What?
Just having an off day, I guess.
That's fine.
As Indigo pulled off her PE shirt, Twilight glimpsed a tiny pink bump on her abdomen, right below the navel.
Yep, there's some noise. Also, I know that this writer is French because there's a term in this story that is French. Dossier? I think that's how you say it, dossier. It's basically a record, like a permanent record. Hey, Emil, bleh. Do you watch Courage the Cowardly Dog? I loved that show. That was my shit. I loved that show. It scared me quite a few times, but I loved it. It's one of my main inspirations for horror. I love writing horror, and Courage the Cowardly Dog had comedic horror, it had freaking scary as shit episodes, but that was my shit as a kid. Have you thought of having female actors doing the female characters? Yes, but I want to try something else because I'm working towards becoming a narrator, so I want to learn how to narrate on my own. No help from voice actors.
Bump on her abdomen, right below the navel. Twilight's eyes widened.
I am actually very curious about that. What is the navel? I'm gonna look that up real quickly. Navel. A rounded knotty depression in the center of a person's belly caused by detachment of the umbilical cord after birth. The umbilicus. Could you just call it the belly button? You know, that'd be a lot more simpler. Much easier. Okay.
Bump on her abdomen, right below the navel. Twilight's eyes widened. It was just like the mark she had woken up with this morning.
Alright, let's see. I almost reached 100 subscribers again. Congratulations. Return the slab, or suffer my curse. This night you will be visited by 3 plagues, each worse than the last. Return the slab. Yep, I know that one. One of the most popular ones, actually.
Evil. Twilight's eyes widened. It was just like the mark she...
Shut up. That's fine. Oh, jeez. It has a mic effect to it. It has like a echo effect to it. But yeah, I remember that one. It was memed to death.
Once again, Indigo noticed Twilight staring at her. It's nothing, Indigo said, fingering the sore on her belly. Something probably bit me. Both girls continued changing in silence, but Twilight could not stop thinking about the marks on their bodies. Was it just a coincidence? The chances of Indigo, anybody, getting an insect bite in the same exact location...
Stop. Stop. There's a sound in there. A sound I do not like. King fucking Ramsey. Scary ass king. He wasn't that scary to me. Honestly, the thing that scared the shit out of me the most in Courage the Cowardly Dog was, the Harvest Moon. The Harvest Moon spirit. The one that basically says, "Get out."
The chances of Indigo, anybody, getting an insect bite in the same exact location seemed exceedingly slim.
Oh yeah, him. Yeah, he was fucking creepy. The cockroach that had the thing locked up. Yeah, he was creepy. Oh, whoa, hey ho. That's fine. Okay.
She decided against asking any further about the mark, lest Indigo think she was crazy. It was now lunchtime. Twilight's appetite had not improved much since breakfast, even after an entire period of jogging. She decided to...
That won't make your appetite go up. It'll make it just worsen. Hate to say it, but that's true. I remember running the mile, and that was right after lunch. But afterwards, you don't feel like you want something to eat. You feel like you're going to be sick.
She decided to stop by the girls' restroom. As she walked up to the sink, she could hear the sound of drilling through the wall. It sounded like work was being done in a nearby room.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, geez, sorry. The foot that came to life, yeah, the fungus. He wasn't scary, it wasn't scary by any means. It was just kind of weird. We're gonna put the squeeze on you now, see?
She removed her glasses and splashed water into her face. As with earlier, the cold water did little to alleviate her lethargy.
Oh,
As she
God.
dried her face, she heard one of the stalls open.
You look like hell. You didn't pull an all-nighter last night, did you?
I want you guys to guess what you know, what character that is before I even go any further. Let's see. Either that or a peeping Tom. Okay, another character that freaked the shit out of me was definitely Freaky Fred. That guy. Naughty.
You look like hell.
Because that episode is very uncomfortable because of the fact he is doing poetry in his mind like a psychopath. And then, yeah. And you just see the events slowly unfold. It's very, very uncomfortable. Shut up, I don't care. Yeah, there's some noise in between. Okay, I need to go forward a little bit. That's fine. Yeah. Nope, it's not Indigo.
You look like hell. You didn't pull an all-nighter last night, did you? Twilight donned her glasses to find her classmate, Sugarcoat, impassively staring at her. No, just a little bout of insomnia. Before Twilight could say more, they both glanced up at the staccato sound of hammering through the walls. What are they working on? One of the science labs, said Sugarcoat. A leak in the ceiling, I heard. Have you eaten lunch? Uh-huh. Book bags in hand, the two...
Alright, Emil. Enjoy your sleep. Nope, not lemon zest. It's Sugarcoat. Because Sugarcoat is, she's kind of very monotonous and kind of strict at the same time. Sugarcoat sounds like someone who would say hell. Yeah, she does, because she's pretty blunt, straight to the point. She doesn't sugarcoat shit, hence the name.
Book bags in hand, the two girls exited the restroom. As they walked down the hall, their classmates respectfully parted ways for
hang on, we've got noise.
As they walked down the hall, their classmates respectfully parted ways for them.
That sounds like a breath to me.
Down the hall, their classmates respectfully parted ways for them. Two of the 6 students who delivered Crystal Prep Academy's latest Friendship Games victory. It was certainly a step up from being an outcast. Victory.
Yeah, there's sound there. Think Spike is a pervert because he can see up girls' skirts. He's a dog. He doesn't know any better.
Academy's latest Friendship Games victory. It was certainly a...
Oh, wow, that's too close. Way too close. About right there, that should be fine.
Friendship Games victory. It was certainly a step up from being an outcast. Who knew what other doors...
Oh, shit.
An outcast.
Oh, geez, that is close. I have no idea if that's going to sound right. Let's find out. Because that's a bit of a...
From being an outcast. Who knew what other doors would soon open for her? As they rounded a corner, Sugarcoat suddenly stopped in her tracks. Twilight glanced back as her classmate dropped her yellow book bag and quickly ducked back around the corner. She doubled back.
There's more noise. Read between the lines. Alright, save. Excuse me.
Around the corner. She doubled back to find Sugarcoat, normally the calmest and most composed classmate she knew, quivering against the wall and clutching herself with tears streaming down her cheeks.
That was one of the most weirdest lines in the entire story, because it was so long and it was it was incorrect grammar.
Cheeks. Sugarcoat? Sugarcoat whimpered. Don't let them near me. Sugarcoat whimpered.
Okay.
Sugarcoat? Sugarcoat whimpered. Don't let them near me.
Why did I not stop that last night?
Sugarcoat whimpered. Don't let them near me. Twilight glanced up as a pair of men clad in blue painter's coveralls walked by without so much as looking their way. She felt a shiver go down her spine. As looking their way. She felt a shiver go down her spine. She could not put as looking their way. She felt a shiver go down her spine. She could not put her finger on it.
Yeah.
She felt a shiver go down her spine. She could not put her finger on it. She found the very
Wait. Can't tell.
finger on it.
Yeah, there's something there.
She found the very sight of the two.
Sounds like a click. That's probably my lip.
Not put her finger on it. She found the very sight of the two men, specifically the way their dust. Not put her finger on it. She found the very sight of the two men. Very sight of the two men, specifically the way their dust masks and safety goggles obscured their faces, very unsettling. Just then, she felt something on her upper lip. She wiped with her fingers, then gazed down at her hand. Her eyes widened in horror. Her fingers were covered in blood. Her blood.
Okay. I'm hearing noises. Don't like you.
I don't like you. You can die a horrible death by getting removed from this project.
Guys, don't ask. I don't know. Yeah, that's fine. We're just gonna silence these.
Horror. Her fingers were covered in blood. Her blood. She felt a prickling sensation on the edge of her senses as the hallway spun and darkness overtook her. I walk into Principal Cinch's office. I don't know why she has summoned me, only that
There's probably gonna be a longer pause here. I don't know, we'll see when we get to music.
I walk into Principal Cinch's office. I don't know why she has summoned me, only that I do not want to be in her office longer than I have to. As I enter, she greets me with an oddly warm smile. Twilight, I have some good news.
Principal Cinch was freaking hard to come up with a voice for. You think she'd be the easiest? No, she was the hardest.
She says as she pulls a letter from her drawer. Your transfer to Everton has been approved.
So I just went with a posh
Principal
voice.
Cinch
How did that get in there?
has been approved.
Yeah, no squeaks. Fuck off, die, stay dead.
To Everton has been approved. Principal Cinch hands me the letter. Sure enough, it is from Everton's director confirming my acceptance into its independent study program. My heart
Why?
program. My heart leaps. This was everything that I could have ever hoped for. Everything that I could have ever dreamed of. Ever hoped for. Everything that I could have ever dreamed of. Thank you.
Oh my god, I swear. Alright, save.
Of. Thank you so much, Principal Cinch. You have more than earned it. Gifts such as yours deserve to be nurtured to their fullest potential. Now, if you would kindly look this way, please. As I look up from the letter, there is a bright, blinding flash of light.
God, voicing for females is so fucking hard.
Up from the letter, there is a bright, blinding flash of light.
Again, that's probably gonna change.
Twilight awoke to find herself staring up at a plain white ceiling. Even without her glasses, the smell of disinfectant told her that she was in the academy infirmary. Slowly,
I heard that. Screw off.
Infirmary. Slowly, she sat up in the cot and took a moment to get her bearings. The last thing she remembered was Sugarcoat freaking out at the sight of the workers, then suddenly getting a nosebleed before passing out. She had never seen Sugarcoat look so terrified.
How the hell did that get in there?
She had never seen Sugarcoat look so terrified.
Yeah. Die. No one likes you. Am I still streaming? Yep.
She had never seen Sugarcoat look so terrified. And then there was that dream she just had. How are you feeling, Twilight? She glanced up to find the hazy form of the school nurse approaching. Twilight? She glanced up to find the hazy form of the school nurse approaching her. The nurse handed her her glasses, which she promptly put back on. What happened? It appears you and Sugarcoat both suffered a severe allergic reaction, said the nurse.
Oh my god. This is why I don't do late night editing.
Allergic reaction, said the nurse, her face lined with concern. Probably from all the dust particles the workers had on their suits.
Okay, that's a little too close for my liking. Let's do that.
Lined with concern. Probably from all the dust particles the workers had on their suits. Twilight furrowed her brow. She did not know about sugar. Brow. Brow. Brow.
Oh boy, gotta go in for this one.
She did not.
Much better. You fuck off.
Her brow. She did not know about Sugarcoat, but she was certain that she herself had no allergies, that she knew of anyway. She glanced over at the other cots, only to find them empty. Where is Sugarcoat? Principal Cinch escorted her back to her room. She's excused you both from your remaining classes today. I strongly suggest going back to your room to rest.
Yep, that can fuck off.
In classes today, I strongly suggest going back to your room to rest. The nurse.
That's just what they want you to do.
Rest. The nurse handed her a hall pass signed by Principal Cinch. After gathering up her book bag.
Seriously, how did I miss these?
Principal Cinch. After gathering up her book bag, Twilight left the infirmary. She gazed up at a clock as she walked the halls of the academy. Sixth period was almost over, and soon, so would the entire school day. She decided to heed the nurse's advice and returned to her room. Sugarcoat would no doubt be resting in her room as well. Hopefully she was okay. Resting in her room as well. Hopefully she was okay.
I don't think taking off that much is going to hurt anything.
In her room as well. Hopefully she was okay. She spent the next hour lying in her bed, unable to truly rest. There was simply too much on her mind. The marks on hers and Indigo's bellies, Sugarcoat having a sudden panic attack, her sudden nosebleed and fainting. So many strange things going on. The final bell of the school day came and went, and she soon heard the familiar bustle of her classmates returning to the residence hall. She was
There's a problem. Fuck off. No one likes you.
residence hall. She was about to begin changing out of her uniform when a knock came on her door.
Knock.
She opened up to find her classmates Sour Sweet and Sunny Flare, both of whom looked very concerned. Hey, Twilight.
Both of whom looked very concerned. Duh.
Both of whom looked very concerned. Hey, Twilight, said Sour. We heard what happened to you in Sugarcoat.
Oh, Jesus. The cringe. I've got to get used to this because if I'm ever going to be a narrator, I've got to do this.
Both of whom looked very concerned. Hey, Twilight, said Sour. We heard what happened to you in Sugarcoat. Are you all right? Asked Sunny.
Oh, Jesus.
Both of whom looked very concerned. Hey, Twilight, said Sour. We heard what happened.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. I swear I hate when this happens.
Said Sour. We heard what happened to you in Sugarcoat. Are you all right?
I went with a dash tone for Sour Sweet because I really wasn't sure what to do for her voice. Going from sour to sweet, even though I don't think she does that in this fic, but yeah.
We heard what happened to you in Sugarcoat. Are you all right? Asked Sunny. We heard what happened to you in Sugarcoat. Are you all right? Asked Sunny.
There we go.
I'm okay.
Okay, you screw off.
Right? Asked Sunny.
Better make sure that sounds okay.
Coat. Are you all right? Asked Sunny.
I might have to take that away a little bit because there's a T right there.
Sugarcoat. Are you all right? Asked Sunny. I'm okay, Twilight replied. Just a little groggy.
Yeah, sure, that's all you are, Twilight.
Asked Sunny. I'm okay, Twilight replied. Just a little groggy. By any chance, have you seen Sugarcoat? Asked Sour. Twilight blinked. Asked Sour. Twilight blinked.
Okay, you need to just go away because no one likes you.
Sugarcoat? Asked Sour. Twilight blinked. She's not in her room? Sunny shook her head. We just checked. She's not answering her phone either.
Oh, for fuck's
If you-
sakes.
She's not answering her phone either. We just checked. She's not answering her phone either. If you see her, would you please tell her to call us?
This is one thing I hate when authors do this. They don't label who's talking.
She's not answering her phone either. If you see her, would you please tell her to call us? Sure?
The hell?
Sunny gave a little She's not answering her phone either. If you see her, would you please tell her to call us?
Sure. Sure.
Call us? Sure? Sunny?
That's fine in between there because it's part of the voice acting.
Sure?
Let's get away from that for a little bit. Right there. Fuck you.
Sure? Sunny gave a little smile. Thanks. Hope you feel better. With that, she and Sour walked away. Twilight remained in her doorway, pondering what they had just told her. Something was not adding up. According to the nurse, just before she had awoken, Principal Singe escorted Sugarcoat back to the ladder's room. She never actually saw Singe, only the nurse. But why would the nurse mislead her?
Because
She pulled the hall pass out of her pocket. The writing on it was definitely
Because
Singe's.
something is
Now that
wrong.
she thought about it, why would Singe bother with escorting a student back to the resident hall when the task could have been delegated to one of the precepts or another student? There was only one way to find out what was really going on.
Okay. Now pause.
Twilight gathered her resolve as she approached Principal Cinch's office. The last time she could remember making this trip was when Cinch pressed her into participating in the friendship games. She took a deep breath and gently knocked on the door. When no answer came after 60 seconds, which she counted in her mind, she opened the door and poked her head inside. Principal Cinch's office was as she had always seen it. Bookcases lining the walls on
Yep, hang on.
seen it.
Yeah, there's a little something right there. Screw you. No one likes you. And where's the save button? There it is. Whoa, what the hell? Oops.
Seen it. Bookcases lining the walls on both sides, filled not only with books, but numerous trophies, award plaques, and framed certificates. And as always, the ever-present chill hung in the air. There was no sign of Principal Cinch. Twilight walked further into the office. Why is it always so cold in here? It was as though there was a constant draft in the room. Curious, she held her hand up towards the air vent, but could neither feel nor hear any air blowing.
Shut up. Shut up, me.
Air vent, but could neither feel nor hear any air blowing through it. Where is that chill coming from? Just then, she noticed a yellow book bag lying on the floor by one of the bookcases near Cinch's desk. It looks like Principal Cinch brought Sugarcoat here instead of her room. But why? She perused the...
How the fuck did I miss that nastiness? Good question.
Why? She perused the books on the shelves before her. There were numerous titles on...
Right there. I hear you, you son of a bitch. Die.
Why? She perused the books on the shelves before her. There were numerous titles on leadership, biology, and psychology. One book, however, seemed grossly out of place. A cookbook titled
Nothing like giving away your position.
Psychology. One book, however, seemed grossly out of place. A cookbook titled Salivation. Curious, she pulled the book out, but when she heard a sudden mechanical click, she staggered back, staring in awe as the bookcase began to slowly swing outward, revealing a dimly lit corridor behind it. Twilight did not have much time to think, as the bookcase began to slowly return to its former position. Gathering her courage, she stepped forward into the freezing corridor as the bookcase closed shut behind her. Cautiously, she moved forward. The only light in the corridor came from small bulbs lining the floor. After making a turn, she found herself in front of a large plain wooden door. She opened the door to find herself in a stark, brightly lit white room. The only sound was the faint ambient hum of the overhead fluorescent lighting. To the side were 3 chairs lined up against the wall. On the other side of the room were a file cabinet, a simple desk, and a rolling chair.
Yeah, you can fuck off.
Against the wall. On the other side of the room were a file cabinet, a simple desk, and a rolling chair. Beyond these...
Yeah, there's some background noise right there. My god, I record this at night. When it's supposed to be fucking quiet.
And a rolling chair. Beyond these was an empty doorway leading someplace just as well lit. The desk was devoid of any adornments or effects save for a single file folder. Curious, Twilight opened the folder. Inside was a letter-sized photograph of herself, along with her fellow Friendship Games finalists, Lemon Zest, Sugarcoat, Sunny Flare, Sour Sweet, and Indigo Zap, each of them proudly wearing their medals. Her own face, along with those of Indigo Zap and Sugarcoat, were each circled in red ink. Oddly, Sour Sweet's face had been both circled and crossed out. A handwritten note below the overlapping marks read, "Mental health concerns." Twilight recognized the following script as Principal Cinch's handwriting.
Let me make sure that this is actually still going. I'm not sure if it is or not. Go away. Yep, still going. Alright. Oops, don't mean to do that. Okay. I'm just making sure that the chat isn't broken.
As Principal Cinch's handwriting. Following the photo were what appeared to be their individual student dossiers. On Indigo's dossier was a sticky note that read, "Outstanding athletic ability." Sugarcoat's dossier likewise had a note attached that read, "Highly perspective." The note on Twilight's dossier read, "Extraordinarily scientific aptitude."
Whatever the hell that means.
That read, "Highly perspective." The note on Twilight's dossier read, "Extraordinarily scientific aptitude." Twilight closed the folder. Principal Cinch had clearly singled out herself, Indigo, and Sugarcoat for something. But what? Continuing her research, she went through the hallway in the corner to find herself in a larger room. Lining the walls were...
Yeah, fuck you. Die.
To find herself in a larger room. Lining the walls were several stainless steel cabinets, long-necked lamps, equipment booms, and rolling tables. At the far end of the room, an ivory curtain had been draped across the floor. It was like a hospital examination room, right down to the sterile scent of disinfectant.
Those sounds right there, like those, like, sometimes I hear, like that kind of noise in between. Those are just mouth noises that I can't control. So, if they get in there, they get in there. There's nothing I can do about that.
Right down.
I don't know what causes them, and I don't know how to stop them either.
Right down to the sterile scent of disinfectant.
Right there.
What is this place? Twilight pulled open a drawer from a nearby cabinet. Inside was an array of various medical supplies. Bottles of rubbing alcohol, specimen collection vials, boxes of cotton swabs, biohazard rags, disposable gloves, and antiviral face masks. For some reason, she found herself feeling rather uneasy at the very sight of the masks, not unlike the painter's dust masks earlier. The next cabinet she came to was a little smaller and cold to touch. As she opened the top drawer, she was greeted with a wave of cold air. Inside this drawer were a dozen
Oh, hang on. Got a problem. You can die.
Of cold air. Inside this drawer.
Oh, hang on. We got too close.
Of cold air. Inside this drawer were a dozen vials, 4 rows of 3. Each row was labeled with a 4-digit number.
I feel like that one's too close. Let me do something like this.
Inside this drawer were a dozen vials, 4 rows of 3.
Now I need to shut this up.
Inside this drawer were a dozen vials, 4 rows of 3. Each row was labeled with a 4-digit number. For some reason, instead of being sequential, the number seemed to progress in increments of 4. Each vial contained a dark red liquid that was labeled with a unique 6-digit number. One in particular piqued her curiosity. She was certain that she had seen its number before. The blood drained from her face. She had seen the number before. It was her student ID.
Up. There's one. God, all these freaking...
Seen the number before. It was her student...
Bap.
It was her student identification number. She had seen the number before. It was her student identification number. She glanced back at the 4-digit row numbers and realized to her horror that each of them was actually a year. A year during which the friendship games took place. In that terrible moment, she realized that she had been in this room before.
Another pause.
Principal Cinch leads me through the corridor to a brightly lit white room. Waiting for us are 2 nurses, both of whom are clad in medical scrubs and face masks. They escort me to a larger...
Oh, for Ree's sake. Oh my god, how far? There we go. Screw off, no one likes you.
Face masks. They escort me to a larger room where they measure my height, weight, body temperature, and blood pressure. I know that something is not right, but I am powerless to resist. No matter how much my mind cries out, my body will not respond.
What the fuck was that?
I know that something is not right, but I am powerless to resist. No matter...
But I am powerless to resist.
I know that something is not right, but I am powerless to resist. No matter how much my mind cries out, my body will not respond. I can do nothing as they... I know that...
Okay, I can get rid of this little thing right here. Yep, I can get rid of that.
Will not respond. I can do nothing as they remove my clothes and drape me in a light blue medical examination gown. Twilight quickly replaced the vial and shut the drawer. She still could not remember what transpired here the day before, but the mere thought of it sickened her to the very core of her being. She had to get out of here.
Okay, nothing.
Very core of her being. She had to get out of here. As she turned around, she saw near the curtain a chair upon which lay a neatly folded Crystal Prep Academy girl's uniform. Blazer, skirt, shirt, and all. She walked up to the chair to find a familiar pair of glasses atop the stack of clothes. She walked up to the end of the curtain and pulled it back. Twilight gasped. Lying on a medical examination table, Lying on a medical examination table.
Okay, die.
Gasped. Lying on a medical examination table.
That doesn't sound like it's far enough apart.
Twilight gasped. Lying on a medical...
Yeah, it's not far enough. Okay, just do this thing.
Twilight gasped. Lying on a medical examination table, clad in a light blue hospital gown, was Sugarcoat. She hurried to her classmate's side, placing her fingers on Sugarcoat's neck. She breathed a small sigh of relief when she found a pulse. Sugarcoat's eyes were closed, but she was definitely breathing. A swab of cotton was taped to her left arm. The smart ones are always the most curious. Twilight whipped around to find Principal Cinch standing less than 3 meters behind her. Before she could act, Cinch aimed what appeared to be a penlight toward her. There was a bright flash of light, and Twilight felt every muscle in her body suddenly go limp. She collapsed to the floor like a rag doll. No matter how desperately she willed it, her body would not respond. From where she lay, she could see Cinch walking unhurriedly toward her, like a predator closing in on its wounded prey.
Yep, I can get rid of that. Fuck you, goodbye.
Hurriedly toward her, like a predator closing in on its wounded prey. Then she remembered. I lied. Remembered.
Yep, I can get rid of that.
Remembered. I lie on the examination table. I can only squint my eyes against the bright lights overhead as one nurse lifts my gown up to my sternum and the other drapes a sheet over my hips. A third figure approaches. This person too is clad in medical scrubs. Even with the face mask and surgical cap, there is no mistaking those piercing fuchsia eyes.
Again, another French term, fuchsia. Fuchsia.
You should be honored, Twilight Sparkle, said Cinch as she produced an alcohol swab and a syringe.
Oh, I remember this freaking line. This was annoying. I already heard some noise over here, so I need to just get rid of that.
You should be honored, Twilight Sparkle, said Cinch as she produced an alcohol swab and a syringe. You, Sugarcoat, and Indigo Zap each get to be part of a far greater legacy. The principal slowly kneeled down to look her square in the face before adding, The principal slowly kneeled down to look her square in the face before adding, just like your brother. Twilight would have screamed if she could. Now she really felt sick. Tears welled up in her eyes as Cinch lifted up her skirt and began to swab her thigh with...
Shut up.
Now she really felt sick. Tears welled up in her eyes as Cinch lifted up her skirt and began to swab her thigh with the alcohol pad. Oh, don't worry, dear, Cinch cooed as she flicked the barrel of the syringe.
Wow, I cannot believe I missed these last night. And again, it was late. I was in full potential. I was running about half a tank of gas, and yeah.
Oh, don't worry, dear, Cinch cooed as she flicked the barrel of the syringe. When you wake, this will all be nothing but a bad dream. Twilight whimpered as she felt the needle jab into her flesh. The last thing she saw was Cinch's cruel smile as everything faded to black.
And on to the ending.
Twilight Sparkle awoke to the buzzing of her morning alarm. Groggily, she blinked up at the ceiling. She had the most peculiar...
There's another one.
Groggily, she blinked up at the ceiling. She had the most peculiar feeling, as though she had just awoken from a dream. She was certain that she had been dreaming, yet she could not for the life of her remember what she had been dreaming about. What could it have been? Probing about her night table, she found her smartphone and silenced it. Resisting the urge to go back to sleep, she rose from her bed and trudged into her bathroom. As she slipped out of her pajamas, she noticed a small, very faint, patch of pink skin below her navel. Probably an insect bite. She would definitely take time to deep clean her room later today.
What the hell? Why did I do that? And this is how silly
below
it
her
gets.
navel. Probably an insect bite.
There we go.
She would definitely take time to deep clean her room later today. She gave the mark no further thought as she stepped into the shower.
Alright, so I feel it's clean now. And again, I didn't look at the first of it, so let me go through again. Make sure it sounds alright.
The Legacy Will Endure. Written by Marilyn.
Really? I missed that one. Freaking Lord. Yeah, you can screw off.
The Legacy Will Endure. Written by Marilyn.
Mayor Light, not Mayor. I don't know if it's an intended pun or not.
She Will Endure. Written by Merlight. Twilight Sparkle awoke at the buzzing of her morning alarm. Groggily, she blinked up at the ceiling. She had not slept well at all.
Oh, Jesus, they're everywhere. Yeah. Goodbye.
Ceiling. She had not slept well at all. Probing about her night table, she found her smartphone and silenced it. She was so very tempted to go back to sleep. Silenced it. She was so very tempted to go back to sleep, but her well-ingrained Crystal Prep discipline dictated otherwise. She sat up in her bed. She winced at a sudden pain in her belly. She winced at a sudden pain in her... As she sat up in her bed, she winced at a sudden pain in her belly. She turned on...
Oh my God.
She turned on her night table lamp. Sudden pain in her belly. She turned... Sudden pain in her belly. She turned on her night table lamp, donned her glasses. Sudden pain in her belly. She turned on her night table lamp, donned her glasses, and pulled up her shirt. Just below her navel, she found a bright red...
Oh my God. This is annoying. This is when editing gets annoying.
Her navel. Just below her navel, she found a bright red bump that was tender to touch. An insect bite? Spike never had fleas. Perhaps she needed to spend some time deep cleaning her room. She gave the mark no further thought as she rose from her bed. Right about now, her dog Spike would have been greeting her. Following the friendship games and the increased attention she got, it became much more difficult to conceal his presence. Thankfully, his presence. Thankfully, her parents were willing to look after his presence. Thankfully, her parents were willing to look after him for time being. Still, she longed
for the time being.
Still, she longed for her...
Oh my God. Kill me, please.
Still, she longed for her furry little friend's company. Twilight shed her clothes as she trudged into her bathroom. Even the ice-cold water did little to wake her up. Once she had donned...
This is annoying.
To wake her up. Once she had donned her Crystal Prep Academy uniform and prepared her book bag, she walked out her door. Here and there, Academy students were emerging from their dorm rooms. Before...
Oh my God.
Dorm rooms. Before, many of her classmates did not even notice her. The most she would usually receive... Dorm rooms. Before, many of her classmates did not even notice her.
Yeah, you could screw off.
Notice her. The most she would usually receive were looks of contempt whenever she bumped into somebody by accident. Now, however, all of them afforded a little...
Oh my God.
By accident. Now...
Why didn't you do that? This is when shit gets annoying.
By accident. Now, however, all of them afforded a little more space as she walked the halls. It was a...
How did I miss that? Fucking squeaky nose, I swear.
The halls. It was a small perk of being one of the 6 students who secured Crystal Prep's latest Friendship Games victory. She made her way down to the academy cafeteria. After getting her usual bowl of oatmeal and cup of hot tea, she sat down at an empty table all by herself. As she squeezed a
All by herself, not yours, not herself. Enunciation is hard at times.
table all by herself. As she squeezed a packet of honey into her tea, she found herself struggling to remember what assignment she had been working on the night before. I'd better make doubly sure that I did not I'd better make doubly
Doubly sure? Double sure.
4. I'd better make doubly sure that I did not forget anything. One by one, she checked each of her homework assignments. She breathed a sigh of relief when she found that all of them were complete. Yet she still had the peculiar feeling that she was missing something. Were complete. Yet she still had the peculiar feeling that she was missing something. Morning, Twilight! Twilight glanced up from her notebooks to find her classmate and fellow Friendship Games finalist, the ever-bubbly Lemon Zest. Only now did she notice the rock music leaking from Lemon's constantly blaring headphones. Normally, she...
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
headphones. Normally, she could hear it coming from 10 meters away. Oh, good morning, Lemon Zest. Hey, congratulations! Oh, good morning, Lemon Zest.
For fuck's sakes.
Oh, good morning, Lemon Zest. Hey, congratulations!
On what? Oh, Stop! God. Fucking hell.
Hey, congratulations! Twilight cocked her head.
Oh my god.
Congratulations! Twilight cocked her head. On what? I heard your transfer to the Everton Independent Study Program was approved. Now Lemon returned her puzzled look. Wasn't that why you were called to Principal Cinch's office yesterday? Twilight felt a shiver go down her spine. In all the time that she had been at Crystal Prep, she had never liked going to Principal Cinch's office, even when it was to receive good news. The very thought of that place always literally gave her the chills. It was always freezing cold in there. Lemon's confusion now turned to concern.
I think from here forward is good.
There. Lemon's confusion now turned to concern. You okay? I'm fine. Just a little under the weather.
Yep, it's good from there. Oh, hang on. Maybe not.
See you around.
We missed one, I think. I'm not sure where exactly it does start, where I started taking that out.
See you around. With that, Lemon sauntered off. Have a good one. As she ate her breakfast, Twilight found herself pondering the previous day. It was much like any other school day. Nothing unusual stood out in her mind. However, the time between the end of her classes up until her waking up this morning was a complete blur. If what Lemon...
Yep. I think that's good enough. So, safe. Okay. So, now music. Oh boy. Alright, so we're done with the hard parts, which is good. So I'm going to export this as WAV. We're not done yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there very, very slowly. I need to use the bathroom. Be right back. Okay. Alright. See if the stream's still going okay. It is. That's good. In fact, I think that's a good place to call it. Because we've been going for about, oh my god, an hour and a half already? Jesus. Yeah, because I'm gonna have to find some music anyways. So hopefully you guys learned something, and hopefully you enjoyed this stream where I'm slowly losing my mind. But thank you guys for watching, thank you for keeping company, and until the next time, happy horrors. I hope to have something coming out for probably 4K. I know it's extremely late, but hopefully I can get something out soon. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.